like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
And by the way, I don't think that's some grand conspiracy. I think this is sort of what power is. I mean this at a sort of high level.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
$7 million for reef fish management. $25 billion to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. They come in so easily, so crazy, so crazy. Everybody comes in, your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousin. They come in your grandmother, comes in your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, cousins. Comes in your grandmother, everybody comes in your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. They come in so easily, so crazy, so crazy. Everybody comes in your grandmother, comes in your grandmother, everybody comes in your grandmother.
Get your words straight, Jack.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
8 months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives, so this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese, a real beautiful company.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Honestly, Sam, if I could just get this sentence out. We could talk about Jimmy Dore could go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here and that this institution made some hard choices.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat. I eat extra sharp. I eat extra sharp. I eat extra. I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat. I eat I eat extra sharp. That's what I sharp. That's what I eat. Extra sharp. Extra sharp.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. That was an opinion of somebody. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position. There, people can decide for themselves. I don't there. Put it out there. It was a retweet. It was a retweet. It was a retweet. Tweet. That tweet. Tweet. That was an opinion of somebody.
In person, in my office, in Philadelphia.
The truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was. Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was. Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. Unbelievable.
I hate the white man. He's of the devil. He was made in a cave, and the worst parts of Europe produced from the lowest forms of humanity.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore. All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA and talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore. All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
No good, really bad for you. No good, no good, no good, really bad for you. Really bad for you. Really bad, really bad, really bad, really bad for you.
It was an amazing phone call. I made 40. It was an amazing phone call. I made 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually before the World Trade Center was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest. And I just spoke to my people.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. But about police. Pigs, talk.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
Yep.
Was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes. And I resent like hell.
Hunter? Are you talking about
I'm talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're talking about
I don't know, Bo. I know Hunter. Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. It wasn't dishonorable.
Cocaine use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice president. Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe.
Everybody digging my chili when I'm laying down? That is not true.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield. We've ended the war on American energy. We were in war. And we've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal, one of our great natural resources.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic in-style-ation of Above It All. I am here once again. I'm alive, and I come to you alive. So, how's it going? So I'm a little, I'm feeling like shit this morning. I'm gonna be honest. I sneezed my head off. I wouldn't stop fucking sneezing. It was kind of a big deal, actually. I was very uncomfortable. But anyway, I'm gonna drink some covfefe. Let me get this. Check this out, folks. All right. So I've got a show today. Let's show the show. Feverishly typing in Google News. That's what I'm doing. I'm on google.news or news.google. God damn it, I feel like genuinely really sick. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm gonna post this. If y'all got a Twitter, retweet this if you wouldn't mind. We're gonna be trying to do the 3-month anniversary of Andrew Brown Jr. being assassinated by a police hit squad, which is the 21st. That will be on a Tuesday, I believe. Wednesday. That will be Wednesday the 21st. So feel free to retweet this for me. I would really appreciate that. We're going to try to get as many people as we can and do a longer march. And so we got this little graphic here made by someone who sent it to me to spread, and now I am spreading it. So there you go. Let's get into the recap, and then I'll get into some other adjacent news. So this is, what do we got here? All right. Just still waiting on the follow? I got you right now, Sal. I got you right now. Check this out. Refresh your Twitter right now. Refresh it. Refresh it. Is it refreshed? Refresh it again, bud. Boom. Vote in the poll, by the way, folks. Super duper important. Super duper goddamn important. Alright, folks. Yesterday was day 87. Is that correct? Hold up, let me verify this fact. I think yesterday was day 87. Let me verify that this is true. Yesterday was day 87 in the city of Elizabeth City in the county of Pasquotank County, where protests have been happening every single day, and over the police assassination of Andrew Brown Jr. on April 21st, 2021, while walking over to the protest, I saw this paved into a sidewalk. I'd never seen this before. That was pretty cool. I then went to the bathroom and took bathroom selfies because that's the kind of person I am. And then I took some more selfies with the megaphone because that's the kind of person I am. I'm a very serious individual. And we did a nice little protest demo around Colonial Avenue, which is the scene of the Black Lives Matter street mural, as well as Main Street and Road Street. And so what we're doing is we are going to be transitioning back into walking marches more than driving marches. And so what we're going to do over the next couple of days is we're going to do longer walking demonstrations. Now, there's some more news that I would like to get to you on those terms. But, you know, I can't really, you know, I don't want to give away the ghost. But I'll let you know why we're doing more walking marches at some point in the future. I've got to, as you can see, I'm wearing the same shirt now that I was at this point in time. I gotta blow my nose. Ugh. Ugh. So I was charged with holding the microphone or megaphone and also recording because that's the kind of person I am. I decided to do the absolute maximum. I had to scratch my nose at that point in time. So let's go forward. Let's see what we got here. So again, we walked around the block here. Got some good shots there. I was trying my best to do the, you know, like the getting the good shots and also, you know, screaming in the megaphone the whole time. It was very difficult, I will say. It was pretty freaking difficult, but I managed to do it. I think I impressed everybody yesterday with my ambidextrous skills. And we're a little loud. You know, when I get the megaphone, I like being loud. I like being very abrasive. I like, you know, making our presence known. I like screaming. I don't like doing the mumbling into the megaphone. There's a couple people that do that all across I'm not even just saying Elizabeth City, but a lot of people get a megaphone and they don't know how to use it. When I get a megaphone, I just go the hell to town. And so that's what I was doing. And so, again, we have had police basically say that they're not going to escort us anymore. And so what we're doing is we have our own vehicles driving in front and in behind. As you can see here, this is where the defacement of the Black Lives Matter street mural was. The person charged with doing that has been arrested. They had a GoFundMe set up, but they were shut down. The GoFundMe was shut down. So that's pretty good. And so, again, what we did is we marched around. We marched down some of the downtown areas, some of the public buildings, and then we went down Road Street, which is one of the busiest streets downtown. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So we go forward a little bit. Look at the clouds. The clouds were beautiful here. I don't know if I got many good shots of them, but they were beautiful. Look at that shit. Amazing. But yeah, as you can tell, the protests have been, like, very, you know, all shapes and sizes. We've some had days where we had, like, you know, 50 people out. Sometimes we have days where we have, like, 6 people out. But at the end of the day, we have that same core group that's being here every single day. And so that's the really important part. And again, we're going to get back into walking marches, more so than driving marches. We're going to be transitioning back. And so over the next couple of days and week, we want to advertise the fact that next Wednesday, which will be the 3-month anniversary of Andrew Brown Jr. being shot and killed, the 21st of July, is also a Wednesday, just like it was in April. And so we're going to be trying to put together a large demonstration on that day. So if you know anyone in the North Carolina area or around Elizabeth City in the Virginia area, and they have been interested, look at those clouds, oh my goodness. If they've been interested in coming out to protest, feel free to let them know that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be meeting at 6 o'clock, and we're going to be doing what we need to be doing. And so it'll be pretty great. And so again, over at this part, we managed to get into Road Street without any police escort. You know, there's a couple people that are nervous about protesting without police. That is what the police want them to do. The reason the police inserted themselves so profoundly over the course of like day 30 to day 70 or day 60 or whatever is because they want people to feel like if police pull their support, then they can't protest anymore. And so again, that was one of the core reasons why they did that shit. And I've been trying to explain that to people. These are our streets. We pay these streets. We pay for the streets. We pay taxes in this city and in the county, by the way. That's something important to note. And I think it's pretty great that people are, realizing that, oh yeah, we don't really need police. And so we've been trying to, as you can see, I'm yelling into the megaphone here. I'm a crazy motherfucker. But yeah, we need to get more people out, and we're going to be getting more people out, and it's going to be a pretty good couple of weeks, I think, coming up here. And again, day 100 is fast approaching on July 29th. We are going to be hitting our 100th consecutive day of protesting, and so that is also a date that I would try to mark on your calendar if you want to come out to Elizabeth City. We are still planning that. We don't have any details yet that it can be made public, but day 100 is fast approaching. And so again, yesterday was day 87, folks. Day 80 frickin' 7. And it's if you would have talked to me 86 days ago, will you be out protesting for 87 days in a row? I'd probably be like, I wish. And guess what? My wishes come true because we've been out protesting for 87 days in a fucking row. And it's not going to stop anytime soon. So there you go, folks. That's it. That is the recap for Elizabeth City's 87th day of protesting. And I think it's fantastic. It's absolutely. And again, I want to reiterate, and I want to reiterate this every single time I do these recaps, that this is a historic protest movement. This is absolutely historic. This is going to be etched into the history of Elizabeth City for the rest of Elizabeth City's existence on the map until the moon wobbles in 2033 and then floods the entire place. But either way, it's pretty great. It's fantastic, and God bless, or whatever it is that you want me to say, to everyone who's out there every single day, or at least as many days as they can be. And it's history. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm proud to be a part of the community. Woo! I'm sorry if I'm a little discombobulated this morning. I'm having an allergy attack, or an allergen attack. Is it allergy or allergen? I think it's allergen, right? An allergen attack? This is something I wanted to talk about. Let me close that, Okay. So, yesterday this clip went around Twitter.com. Press secretary of the Joe Biden regime, that's right, folks, has said that she thinks misinformation should not only be banned on whatever platform the misinformation was originally posted, but if you're banned on any platform, you should be banned on every platform. What? Now, I believe this is in regards to COVID misinformation, but either way, this is not something I support, so I want to play this clip.
So a couple of the steps that we have, that could be constructive for the public health of the country are providing for Facebook or other platforms to measure and publicly share the impact of misinformation on their platform and the audience it's reaching. Also with the public, with all of you, to create robust enforcement strategies that bridge their properties and provide transparency about rules. You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others for providing misinformation out there. Taking faster action against harmful posts. So a couple of the...
so I just want to be very clear. I am 1000% in favor of freedom of speech even if it means people can get things wrong. Now, one of the big problems with this pandemic and all sorts of misinformation issues is that people do not actually know what they are saying is false. There is a very, very, very clear divide between disinformation, where you know it is false, and misinformation, where you don't know it is false, right? To permanently ban someone from every social media platform because they've been lied to and manipulated, I think is wrong. And the only thing it does is further entrench their horrible ideology. It's a horrible strategy. Yes, is it very likely that you will contain the spread of misinformation if you do ban it across all platforms? Absolutely. But that does nothing to get away from the actual misinformed themselves, right? Their whole shtick, their whole conspiracies are predicated upon the idea that they're censoring the truth. They being, I don't know, someone is censoring the truth. And when you continue to ban them and censor them, it only pulls them deeper into that conspiracy theory. And then also, what is misinformation? Is this identifiable? Is this defined? Right? There are so many people that have gotten YouTube strikes, myself included, over the course of this pandemic for reading CNN articles where they quote the CDC. I've had YouTube strikes for quoting the CDC's mask wearing protocols. Why did I get those YouTube strikes? For medical misinformation. Well, I just read what the CDC said. They just somehow misinterpreted it and automatically flagged it as misinformation. And then I got a YouTube strike and they wouldn't respond to any of my emails. So, are we really going to be trusting these algorithmically powered tech companies to be in charge of what misinformation is? And do we really want them to share their block lists and ban lists? That only is now, again, I know that this is a fallacy, but that's one hell of a slippery ass slope. I'm telling you right now, right? And does it end at COVID, disinformation and misinformation, or does it continue to go on, right? It's really, truly bizarre that this would be even remotely suggested. Now, again, we want a solution here. My show is about having solutions. What would be a better solution? Banning all misinformation, or doing actual public, going out, knocking on doors with actual, information, giving people question and answers with doctors, doing all that, having maybe, I don't know, a national healthcare system where people can actually call up their doctor free of charge, ask questions, and feel comfortable in that relationship. One of the problems when it comes to medical misinformation in the United States is derived from the fact that the healthcare industry, that's right, industry, it's a capitalist industry that is predicated upon taking advantage of poor people, keeping them diseased, and stripping all of their resources and money away from them over long periods of time. Right? Look at insulin costs. What the fuck? Right? Look at all this kind of shit that the healthcare industry in the United States is doing. Right? So people have a natural distrust of healthcare in the United States. I know a way to alleviate that natural distrust. How about we institute a Medicare for all system of healthcare? That would be pretty good. That would probably alleviate misinformation, but the Biden administration isn't going to do that, right? They are going to do the bare minimum of getting people vaccinated. And guess what? That's having the effect of hitting people that are vaccinated. I've been vaccinated for months, and this Delta variant's making me a little bit, I'm a little bit scared about it. Why? Because we have so many unvaccinated dumb motherfuckers out there that don't know what the hell they're doing, and Joe Biden's just kind of letting them have the option. In my opinion, we should be having forced education. Now, if you don't want the vaccine, all right, stay inside. Don't leave the house. If you can't have the vaccine because you're immunocompromised, great, stay inside. We got you. But everyone should be forced to have to deal with the facts. Now, does that mean that they should be kidnapped and be automatically injected with a vaccine? No. But, again, we need door-knocking campaigns. We need phone calling campaigns. We need doctors and medical professionals that are in better situations for dealing with medical misinformation. And then also, again, the idea that the White House is going to say tech companies should ban everyone on every platform for getting something wrong is ludicrous. Especially when early on in the pandemic, everyone got everything wrong. Remember when we were all washing our hands every single second and wiping down the counters? Turns out that didn't really do much, right? It was mostly an airborne virus. Right? And so are you going to ban Dr. Fauci for getting it wrong at the beginning? I don't know. Right? And again, I just want to be very clear. The biggest thing with misinformation is people actually don't know any better. Right? Now, again, there's a lot of people out there that know what they're doing is stupid, and they know that they're trying to deceive people. And I would even say you should go after them with the fullest extent of the law if they're purposefully going after people in order to get them killed or to manipulate them into killing others. That is horrible. But a lot of misinformation is people just not getting their info from good sources. And the White House is not doing any good job of getting that info out there. The CDC is not doing a good job of getting that info out there. The healthcare industry is not doing a good job of getting that info out there. If you want to know about the COVID vaccine and the pandemic, you know what you have to do? You have to do your own research. You have to look at your own sources. You have to find new sources of information. And that's where disinfo actors strike, is they try to get up on those search results and they try to get people to fall down their rabbit holes. But it would be a lot easier if there weren't any rabbit holes to fall down, because all of this info is so much more easily acceptable and reachable. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this because it's a whole heaping helping of fucked up. And again, it just shows the priorities of the White House are not actually in helping people. It's just in having control. And I don't like that kind of shit. So, also, by the way, speaking of misinformation, remember when Joe Biden campaigned on decriminalizing marijuana and then said psych nah when he was elected? That's misinformation. Should Joe Biden be banned from tech platforms for misinforming the public on his plans of marijuana legalization? I don't know. I'm just asking questions, folks. There's a dog behind me. I don't know if you can see this. Max. Woo! How's everyone doing today? I would like to perform a vibe diagnostic on the chat room. Please post your vibes down below. I'm doing good. How about you? I'm okay. My sinuses are starting to get a little clearer, so I'm starting to feel more like I'm a human compared to 30 minutes ago. Vibe diagnostic processing. Beep boop. I'm okay. Not bad. Just chilling. I love to chill. Max the doggy, 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 Max the doggy. Look at that fucking pooch. Alright, y'all. Alright, I'm going to do one more story, and then we'll probably be wrapping up. So if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, start thinking of them now. Two FLA period police officers... Actually, let me enunciate that better. Two FLA police officers charged in new Proud Boys indictment in Capitol riot. A father and son, who are current and former Florida police officers, and a North Carolina man have been charged with joining alleged Proud Boys members in the January 6th Capitol riots, according to new 5 co-defendant indictment unsealed in Washington on Friday. Again, I need y'all to understand the most important takeaway of January 6th was law enforcement involvement and the cover-up of their involvement. The cops opened the doors. They chose not to use force, right? They were off duty and involved. There were off-duty Capitol Police that were involved and knew the routes and opened up certain doors. There were on-duty police officers that knew the routes and opened up certain doors. They retreated, they failed, and they lost. And they let our democracy, I know, bear with me. They let our democracy almost be fucking destroyed, or at least severely damaged, by a bunch of fucking crazy motherfuckers, alright? You need to understand, law enforcement. Sir, what laws are you enforcing today? Were you enforcing any laws on January 6th? If you see a black kid smoking weed walking down the sidewalk, you're going to enforce some laws there. How come when you see 6,000 white redneck loser piece of garbages jumping through the fucking windows with guns, bombs, and zip ties, how come you don't decide to enforce any laws on that day? You're joining in the motherfucking crowd. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. So I need everyone to understand. There is also this story. In June of 2020, there was a Virginia protest where the entire police force knelt with Black Lives Matter protesters, and then the protest stopped. Guess who showed up at the Capitol on January 6th? It was the sergeant and the people directing the protest coverage in the police in that Virginia town. They were in the Capitol on January 6th. You need to understand, cops are garbage. Everyone. Your brother, your mother, your father, your cousin, your best friend, they're garbage. Cut them off while you still can. This is a warning. I am warning you, motherfucker. Let's read the rest of the article. Kevin Tito Tuck and Nathaniel A. Tuck, 29, of Central Florida were arrested and released on $25,000 unsecured bond Thursday by a U.S. magistrate judge in Tampa court records show. Edward George Jr. was also arrested Thursday and was scheduled to appear in federal court Friday in Raleigh, according to court records. The charges bring the number of off-duty law enforcement officers charged in the Capitol mob to at least 20, and the defendants' ties to several Central Florida police agencies highlight the continued pressure on sheriffs and police chiefs nationwide to scrub their ranks of members with links to white supremacist and far-right armed groups. 80% of police officers voted for Donald Trump, which means, bare minimum, 80% of police officers are white supremacists, which means 80% of police officers need to be purged and thrown into prison. I'm not even joking when I say that. We need to get rid of them. We need to rethink this entire system here. 80% of cops are white supremacists? 40% of cops beat their wives? What are these numbers? What do we do about this? Are we just jerking our dicks off and just fucking hoping for the best? That's not going to save anyone. Of more than 530 arrests, prosecutors have also now charged at least 37 members or associates of the Proud Boys, a group that has a history of violence. Former President Donald Trump famously urged the right-wing group with a history of street violence to, quote, stand back and stand by when asked to denounce white supremacist groups at the presidential debate last September. U.S. investigators say at least 65 Proud Boy affiliates joined an on-the-ground communications channel in Washington, led by 4 men accused of leading others in some of the most destructive, aggressive, and earliest attacks to breach the police line and break into the Capitol, forcing Congress to evacuate. An unsealed 9-court indictment dated July 7th charged the Tucks and George with obstructing a joint session of Congress that was meeting to confirm the 2020 election results, trespassing, and disorderly conduct. They are not charged with conspiracy, unlike some other Proud Boys. George was also charged with assaulting police, stealing government property, entering the Senate chamber with Kevin Tuck, and engaging in civil disorder with Nathan Tuck. An attorney for Kevin Tuck did not immediately respond to a request for comment, and Nathaniel Tuck's attorney could not be reached. Information about an attorney for George, 33, who was arrested in Fayetteville, North Carolina, was not available. The 3 men were added to an indictment of previously charged Orlando area men, blah, blah, blah. In their arrest affidavits in late March, the FBI showed photographs of Ray and Jackman, blah, blah, blah. Prosecutors have alleged that Biggs of Daytona Beach, Fla, was among the first to enter the Capitol. Alright, that's just a little bit of a... Deputy Jackman rhetorically stated, do I leave him because of the group he joined? Blah, blah, blah. Sheriffs are fucking corrupt garbage. Police Chief David Ogden said in a statement that the elder Tuck joined the force after working for police in Longwood, Fla, as a reserve officer in May 2019 and later became a full-time officer in October of the same year. All these motherfuckers, who cares what their damage control is? They're garbage. You need to understand the cops are garbage. The deputy, a member of the sheriff's office training unit and videographer for the agency's emergency response team, was at work January 6th and knew that her husband was in Washington to hear Trump speak, but not that he went to the Capitol, blah, blah, blah. All right, again, you need to understand law enforcement are white supremacists. It's not that white supremacists entered law enforcement. Law enforcement is a white supremacist organization. It is a criminal syndicate. It is a gang of racists and Nazis. Again, I was just following orders. What? What? Does that remind you of anything? Maybe some trials that were happening in the 50s? It was just following orders. Sorry, my superior told me to violate the First Amendment and arrest protesters. Sorry, my superior told me to beat the shit out of a black teenager for smoking marijuana while they're walking home from their fucking job. Right? Sorry, I was just following orders. I was following the law. Bro, what? Meanwhile, they're entering the Capitol on January 6th. Again, you need to understand. Law enforcement is not actually law enforcement. It is a white supremacist terrorist organization doing basically whatever they want. Because if they break the law, guess what happens? Nothing. And if something does happen, it's going to be years down the line after courts decide that they did something wrong, where they're going to be walking on the streets and being a shit fuck for the rest of that time as well. This is a problem. This is a pandemic in the United States of America and the globe, right? Police violence. Again, I want to reiterate, white supremacists have not infiltrated the police departments and law enforcement agencies. The law enforcement agencies are themselves explicitly and originally began as white supremacist terrorist organizations. Full stop. Slave patrols don't just become non-slave patrols because a couple of black cops join the force. Okay, buddy? This shit is systemic and it's garbage. And we need to understand all of these motherfuckers have got to go. So that's what I wanted to say on that one. How's everyone doing today? Whew. Indictment. Thank you, Alicia. I did not see the 40-minute video from the New York Times quite yet. Greensboro, North Carolina massacre. Right, okay. I know what you're talking about. Am I protecting my cup from spiders? Yes, I am. Alright, folks. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I appreciate everyone for watching. Again, weekend shows, 9 a.m. Eastern Time on the weekends. 10 a.m. Eastern Time on the weekdays. This is a daily show. Tell your friends. Also, again, please share the content coming out of Elizabeth City if you haven't been doing so. Please start upping the share rate because we are going to be trying to get a lot more media attention over the next week with the 3-month anniversary, and then the next week after that with the 100th consecutive day of protesting. And so we're going to try to get a snowball effect. We're going to try to get some more people out there. And so if you can just retweet your shit or share it on Facebook or share it on Twitter independently, that would be really nice of you, and I would appreciate that. And we're going to be trying our best to get some of this stuff up and rolling. And I'll, of course, keep you all posted. And again, if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to field them to my secretary, aka send me a Twitter DM. Thank you all for watching. Yes, at some point I will be doing more things. I just, at some point. And so, yeah, I don't know what I accomplished by saying that, but I just wanted to say something like that. So anyway, thank you all. Have a great one. And that's it. That's all I got.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote.
I eat extra sharp. I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
Pokemon Go. But I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Who are you worried about? I'll tell you who I'm worried about. I'm worried about the fact that our workers are seeing a decline in their standard of living. They want to see our industry be rebuilt. That's what they want to see. No more B-2 bombers. No more Star Wars. Let's make the quality products we need. Let's invest in American industry. No, I won't yield. I won't yield.
The truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, in a lot of ways, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was. The truth.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened.
Get your words straight, Jack. Get your words straight. Get your words straight, Jack.
I hate the white man. He's of the devil. He was made in a cave.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Even before you do that, and not even including that's why I hardly even included that number, although in one state we have a tremendous amount of dead people, so I don't know. I'm sure we do in Georgia too. I'm sure we do in Georgia too. Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
Fine. I've got to go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I'm the only person who's ever run on 3 platforms that I was told could not possibly win the election. And I never ceased from it. One, we're talking about it. The words of presidents matter. Nobody else. I've got to.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room. As far as
all of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
Antifa exists $7 million for reef fish management, $25 billion to combat Asian carp, $2.5 billion to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I admit to always improving.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw pepper.